have done all the diets. Like, okay, maybe not all of them, but a huge variety. High protein, no fruit, no sugar, all these different kinds of diets. And I'm gonna say the one I'm doing right now is probably my favorite. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am Crystal Ray. I am a health coach and an empowerment coach, and I teach you how to stress less by using your food, your feelings, and your fitness, and really just figuring out what works best for you while teaching you how to live a holistically healthy lifestyle. Today I want to share with you what happened to me because I'm about to hit a year where I decided to really go plant-based dominant. I'm saying plant-based dominant because I believe in October I did have some tuna fish, and at Thanksgiving I did have a little bit of turkey. So I haven't been completely plant-based, but definitely from January until now, for the last 6 months, I've only been plant-based. You know, the reasoning why I did that was really just me listening to my body and me being intuitive. And I did a bodybuilding competition in 2016, and I ended up getting really acidic from the bodybuilding competition from all of the protein that I was eating. And my body wasn't absorbing or digesting, and I had worked with 2 different functional medicine doctors plus another doctor, tried a bunch of different supplements, altered my diets in many different ways, really figuring out how to get myself to feel my optimal self again, because at the time it physically hurt to eat salads. And that was back in 2016, and I experienced that again in 2017. I knew that my gut needed some healing, but I started getting to this point where the thought of chicken and looking at chicken made me feel repulsed, like nauseous. I just felt disgusted. And I just started paying attention to that feeling. And because I was feeling that, I just started thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't eat it. So let me just see what happens if I don't eat it. And I also was introduced to Anthony Williams, who is the medical medium, back in July of 2018. And he has a 28-day raw diet. And I know how my system is. Raw vegetables, raw salads can definitely put me into discomfort. So I still have not yet found the strength to essentially go raw for 28 days, but I have started to basically transition my lifestyle and my diet to eat in a way that is more aligned with some of the things that he talks about. And he is all for you eating protein, okay? So don't think that he doesn't agree with protein. Of course, we all agree that your protein should be coming from a good source and is treated humanely and is fed the right types of foods and lives in a really great environment. Like you want to be very particular of the food source of where you're getting your protein from. It truly matters because you are ingesting that animal, you're ingesting the feelings of the animal, you are ingesting what the animal ate. You want to make that a priority, and paying a little bit more for protein is going to go a long way. But I got to this place where I recognized that I think I had, I had gotten tested and my body did have Epstein-Barr virus in it. It wasn't active and I was still kind of experiencing some things. So I decided I wanted to experiment, because this is what I do. I experiment with myself. I am my own science project. And I decided I'm just going to kind of eat based off of what my body is telling me. And I've been plant-based now, like I said, hardcore since January, and I feel the best that I've ever felt. My digestion is working the best that it ever has, and I'm actually really curious to get retested and see if my amino acid levels have changed, to see if I'm absorbing a little bit more, because I think by now my digestive tract should be where I would hope it would be. But being plant-based is really not that tricky, and it's really not that challenging. And there's this misconception out there about protein and that we need high amounts of protein, but there's protein in vegetables. There's protein everywhere. And so the other caveat that I want to say to this is I don't eat soy. I do not eat tofu. I can't eat seitan because it has wheat in it, because I'm also gluten-free. So I'm technically gluten-free and plant-based. I'm not going to call myself vegan because I do eat honey, but I am plant-based. And so primarily I eat plants. I eat a ton of beans. I eat a lot of peas. I do have a protein shake every once in a while. I'm actually going to order some more tonight. But for the most part, my body thrives on a high carbohydrate diet. And there is another idea of eating for your blood type. and I am A positive blood type, which typically thrives on a vegetarian type of diet. And do I fully believe in the blood type diet? I don't know. I think that there's some validity to it. So I think if you experiment with it and then take away some things and see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But I'm sitting here right now, eating primarily plant-based, and I'm not really craving meat. And so if I do decide to have a real big craving for some meat, yes, I am going to have it because I am here listening to my body. I am somebody who eats intuitively. And so if my body's like, no, I really could use some meat right now, I will give it to it. I'm not going to sit here and deny myself of that. But this whole video, the point of this video, and sorry, I've been rambling this whole time, but I want you to understand that being plant-based is actually really easy. It is so easy, it's not even funny. What do you eat? You eat plants. You eat beans, you eat rice, you eat all the vegetables, every single vegetable that you could ever imagine. You eat all the fruits that you could ever imagine, right? And that's pretty much my diet. But there's so much variety. There's so many things that I can mix and match. I could just make all these fun foods. And in today's age, there are so many options out there for somebody who is vegan or is gluten-free. Daya makes a vegan, gluten-free, soy-free pizza in the freezer section, and all I do is put it in the oven. Talk about convenient. There are so many ice creams out there. There's not one food item that I can't find in a gluten-free vegan form. And that's the hardest, finding gluten-free vegan, because a lot of gluten-free items are made with eggs, and then a lot of vegan items are made with gluten. So finding the two can be a little bit trickier, but I'm able to buy things out all the time. If I'm hungry, I'm gonna just get a banana or an apple. Okay, I'm gonna get hummus, I'm gonna get rice and beans, I'm gonna, you could still eat at Chipotle. There are so many options out there for you, it's not even funny. And so I know a lot of people get very scared about, well, where am I gonna get my protein from and how is this gonna work? I wish people would not get so hung up on the whole protein thing. My gauge is, how am I feeling? So if I do a workout and I am having a very hard time recovering, and when I say a hard time recovering, I mean for 2 to 3 days afterwards, my body is so sore and my muscles are so sore, then I know, okay, I didn't get enough food in and I probably didn't get enough protein in. But if I'm waking up every day and I'm energetic and I feel amazing and I'm recovering from my workouts because I do weightlift and I'm just feeling great, I'm not concerned about my protein because I am getting protein in. I am eating a lot of vegetables. I am eating beans. I am eating stuff that has protein in it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people question that of well, how are you getting your protein? I'm good. It's funny, I feel now I'm finally actually able to put on muscle on my body eating in this type of way. And it's almost counterintuitive because I'm not eating animal protein. You would think that back in 2016, when I was eating 120 grams of animal protein a day, I would have put on so much more muscle. But my body couldn't digest it. It couldn't break it down. So I was eating all that food and it was just coming right out of me. And my body wasn't doing anything with it. Whereas now I'm actually taking in nutrients. I can feel the difference personally. I'm gonna stay plant-based as long as I can. I think that everybody could always use to eat more plants and more fruits and still eat meat. I'm not saying cut the meat out, but if you're looking at it and you're getting nauseous, then yeah, don't eat it. Like I said, if there comes a day where I'm I really want a burger or a bite of something, I'm gonna have it. I'm not gonna deny my body, but I'm gonna sit here and just pay attention to the cues. And if my body's no, stick to plants, I'm gonna just stick to some plants because they make me feel good. And there's so many studies happening right now. There's so many news articles and so many stories coming out about people praising eating plants and how having a high plant-based diet is truly helpful in your health and helps against all these different diseases. And I want to do another video about fruit and sugar because I know there's another oh, we have to avoid sugar fear that's going around. And I kind of used to be on that bandwagon, and then I just started eating as much fruit as I wanted to, and I have a totally different perspective. And of course, a lot of this I do owe to Anthony Williams, medical medium, because a lot of the stuff that he's saying is resonating with me, and it does feel good to me. And I experiment with what he's saying, and my body actually does feel good. So I am testing things out and just seeing what works with my body type. But every single person is an individual. And what's working for me may not work for you, and that is totally fine. But just being aware of how you're feeling, like that's really where it all starts. So if you've always been curious about going plant-based, I would say take it one day at a time. Try it for a week. And I used to experiment. Like before I got to the point that I am now, I just tried it for like a week, and I would do a week here, a week there, and I would basically just kind of play around with this idea of going plant-based. And then eventually I just did it. I don't know. I just stopped eating protein, like animal protein. So you can make a slow transition. It doesn't have to be everything all at once. It could just be you experiment for a week of just being straight plant-based, see how you feel, see if it makes a difference. If you're not feeling great, then the next week just go 2 days of being plant-based. And then the next week maybe go 3 days. But still just listen to your body, because meat isn't the worst thing. You know, it's not the enemy. Yes, some people's bodies genuinely need animal protein, but it's the amount that we're eating. We don't necessarily need as much as we are having. What we really need is to increase our vegetables and to increase our fruit and to get more micronutrients into our diet. And when you start having those things, then you will definitely start to feel a difference. But if you are going to be somebody who eats meat, all I ask is that you make sure that you're buying really high quality meat, because you will taste the difference. Like I swear, it tastes so much better when you just spend a little bit more on meat that is of good quality. But let me know in the comments below if you're somebody who has been questioning or toying with this idea of going plant-based, and what might be keeping you from doing it. Like what are some of your fears, and maybe I can help just let you know more about my experience and how it's been for me. But I've never felt better. Like I feel the best that I have ever felt in my entire life out of all the different diets that I've done. And this diet I'm doing right now is just me eating intuitively, listening to my body, and just doing what feels best for me and figuring it out and just paying attention and experimenting all the time. So if this was helpful for you, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss another video. And until next time, bye.